This is our smart vape. We know how much nicotine you are taking in. So the higher nicotine, the lower the daily incentive.
It's almost a misnomer. It's really don't vape to earn, right?
I would say it's a quit nicotine competition. Instead of telling people, oh, on day one, you should quit smoking, we're telling people, hey, how about we start in a softer way? I think people have this kind of misconception. Smoking is bad. Vaping is bad. We're gambling in the space. How about go out and touch some grass? We are trying to help people to get a better lifestyle. At the same time, balancing between their mental health and their physical health.
Hey, we'll get right back to the podcast, but first I want to talk to you about today's sponsor, Vertex Protocol. Vertex is a cutting-edge decentralized perp exchange that brings you the best of both worlds. With its lightning-fast order book model, Vertex offers precise price discovery and minimal slippage. Take advantage of cross-margin trading to optimize your capital and trade the most popular assets like Pepe, Doge, WIF, Memecoin, Eigenlayer, and more, all with leverage. So why wait? Dive into decentralized trading today. Visit vertexprotocol.com to learn more. Trade smarter, trade with Vertex. Awesome. Well, welcome to the podcast. We always start off the podcast with one question, and that is, who are you and what do you do?
Hey guys, hey Jack. Thanks for having me here. I'm Reffo. I'm the co-founder of Puffpaw, and we're building a vape-to-earn project to incentivize smokers to quit nicotine addiction.
Fantastic. Well, a simple explanation, but there's a lot going on, I know. You guys kind of had a viral moment a couple months ago, I think around Token 2049. What was that like, and how did that come about? How was that attention?
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea was not a very fresh idea. A lot of people want to do this, and you've seen a lot of shit posts on Twitter, putting the screen and make it into a DAX, like a trading bot. So I think it's a dream for a lot of traders, and we just simply make it happen, right? So around that time frame, we would happen to announce our seed round, and we got a lot of attention from the space. Some good, some positive, some negative. Some people will say, "Oh, are you simply, incentivizing people to having, bad habits with the token rewards, or what's going on here?" And it's a lot. It's very overwhelming, to be honest. We just have to, keep telling people, "Hey, we call it vape to earn because it's just very catchy and people love to hear this kind of buzzwords, but the truth is that we use the token incentive, token rewards to motivate people to lower their nicotine and to go with a non-nicotine vape. And even for the non-nicotine vape, we are limiting them for a very short, very low amount of puffs per each day. So like just a lot of detail that we have to keep telling everyone.
Right.
And of course, it's way beyond my expectation. We are building consumer project, a consumer depend project, and we're not meme coin, right? This whole cycle is about meme coin. So I'm kind of
Uh-huh.
overwhelmed that a lot of people are still paying attention to this type of tangible product. So yeah, a lot to take in there.
Well, it's funny that you say that you're not a meme coin. And I actually interviewed Murad at Token 2049, who was kind of famous for this meme coin thing. And he talks about how all crypto projects have been meme coins to some extent in the past, because they're a meme of DeFi, a meme of finance. I mean, I don't know if you guys like to think yourself of this, but to some extent, you guys are a meme coin as well, right? This idea of like vape to earn is very viral, is very memeable. Do you embrace that, or do you kind of shy away from that label as like meme at least friendly?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good question. And by the way, I love that presentation by Murad. I think it's genius, the whole theory.
Mm-hmm.
So back to this point, if Puffball is a meme coin or not, I think there are different types of meme coins. And I think eventually from this cycle, we're gonna see two different types of uh, coins that go viral. One side is the meme coin. The other side is the coin that actually has the real cash flow, has the real business model, has the real recurring revenue. And I think we tend to fall to the second category,
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't stop us from getting support or early attention from consumers from retails. We're talking about the retails here, so where can you get the most exposure from the retail users? One side is definitely meme coin, those animals or whatever that is.
Right.
The other side, I think, is the real consumer product that people are really using that on a daily basis. And I mentioned Deepin, but I think a lot of Deepin projects, they are not for consumers. They're for their
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure, and they're pretty like heavy industrial setup for us. Or if you there are other new like emerging projects that has a hardware, maybe a wearable, maybe rings, maybe phones, right? Those type of consumer products in the Web3 space, I think they have the better chance to get more attention from the retails, from the consumers. So, yes, to some degree, I agree. We are also a meme coin because it's very fun. Like, I think it's very fun, and you can build that consensus around this very fun idea. Vape to earn, every single puff is on chain. Like we always say that, just for fun, and that's actually the truth. We can talk about that later. But so
Sure.
I do think we are between those two categories, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty excited to see the next 3 to 6 months how people are really treat this type of fun retail, consumer driven projects that has a real uh, business model, real cash flow with a
Right.
very fun, the storytelling thing.
Excellent. So let's back up a little bit. Can you explain, like the elevator pitch for Puffpaw and kind of how the whole system works from vape to token?
Yeah. So let me just show, I think the product should tell for itself, right? So let me show you the
Excellent.
product here. This is our building house, Smart Vape. This is a closed pod system. So it comes with a machine and it comes with the pod. You have to keep
Mm-hmm.
buying the new pods and put into the machine, and that's how you can vape, right? It has the juice in the
Okay.
pods. So once it's inserted to the machine, it's actually Bluetooth connected to our mobile app. From our mobile app, we track all of your smoking activity, your smoking data, and push the data onto blockchain. So we use those data to determine how much rewards you are earning on a daily basis. So even for this device, we've done a lot of innovation, a lot of changes on this device. It's not just a vape, it's a smart device because for every single pod we have the chip here. We also have the chip in the vape. So we are able
Mm-hmm.
to identify every single component and making sure that people are using our device to get into the vape
Right.
to earn game to earn our token. And the mechanism is pretty simple because we can track all of the information from the device. We know the nicotine level. We know how much nicotine you are taking in. So the higher nicotine, the lower the daily incentive. And if you go with the non-nicotine, which is our main product, you're actually maximizing your daily rewards.
So when people talk about vape to earn, it's almost a misnomer. It's really don't vape to earn, right? It's vape less to earn.
Well, I would
Is that
say,
is that fair?
I would say it's a, I would say it's a quit nicotine campaign
Right?
competition. We are instead of telling people, oh, on day one you should quit smoking, you should quit vaping, you should quit everything right away. We're telling people, hey, how about we start with a more like a smoother, like in a softer way, so you can start with lower your nicotine on a daily basis and lower your daily puffs amount gradually to stay away from cigarettes, from those, very toxic artificial ingredients in those, general normal vaporizer products. Because
Mm-hmm.
the one that we are using here, it's first of all, it's non-nicotine. That's our main product, right? And also
Right.
we use organic tea extracts ingredients in the e-liquid. So that's why we can make sure our product is like 10 times or even 100 times better than other general vaporizers. That's the first thing. The second thing is that I think people have this kind of misconception. Oh, everything smoking is bad, vaping is bad. You should definitely stay away from that. But people, we're gambling in the space. You are sitting in front of your laptop 24/7, gambling the meme coins. How about go out and touch some grass, right? So stop being a saint. And we know that to getting addicted to any of the habits is bad, right? So we are trying to help people to get a healthier, a better lifestyle. At the same time, balancing between their social need, their mental health, and their physical health. Because if you're looking at the vaping, it's definitely very trending, very popular among the Gen Z, among the young generation. Why they're doing this? Because they are making friends. They are having social life with their same age, their same group of people. When you are standing out of the club with a bunch of your friends, everybody's smoking, everybody's vaping. You are the only one not doing it. How are you going to fit in that group? There is a lot of social anxiety, and I got to say, it's even more severe in in a lot of Asian countries, Asian culture, comparing to the US and the European countries. So I would say let's just try to balance between those two parts and make sure that people can just have fun. Like we want people to have fun. That's the most important part. So we do think
Mhm.
that there's no need to cut all of such behaviors as long as you can limit to a certain level. You are balancing between your mental health and your physical health, then
Right.
we're good.
Interesting. I want to go get into you a little bit. So the first question I have is, how did you get into crypto?
So, like I almost everyone else, I got in during COVID, 2020. I was in real estate developer. I was working for a developer for a long time before getting into crypto. I was in New York. During
Hmm.
pandemic, there's nothing to do. Start trading token, trading NFTs. So I get into this industry during 2020. I sold all of my properties. I know it's not gonna come back. I know how hard it goes with Asia, and I know the U.S. the government is not. They have no chance to stop this. So I quit my job. I sold my properties. I was just staying at home and learning more about crypto, and that's how I get in with NFT, with a lot of trading, and eventually started to build my first project, which is a SocialFi project, pretty similar to Frame of
Hmm.
Forecaster, but it was like a year ago, and that was on Arweave, and that was supported by Arweave by Lens Protocol. I have several other grants, and also I'm part of Orange DAO. And I think I sunsetted in the middle of last year because it didn't go well because the market and PMF, everything, etc. So went back to building the vape business with my other two co-founders because I have this my best friend from college. We three together. We know how viral the vape industry is going after the pandemic. I know it's going so well, and I help them with the marketing and the business development in the US. And I know a lot of traders are vaping, are smoking. It's a huge overlap. So I have
Right.
this idea in my mind for a long time, but it was until the end of last year that seriously telling them, hey guys, what if I can make this happen? Let me try to build this new vaporizer that can actually, track all of your smoking data, and we can use the data to determine how much people can earn from it. It's going to be very fun to vape and earn some crypto. I went to all of the crypto conferences for the past several years. I know how many people are waiting out of the events, side events, just smoke there, just vape there. It's the same group of people, traders, in the financial industry, everybody smokes, right? Because the anxiety of doing the financial trading, it's a lot of pressure. So I know this idea. I think it's gonna. I'm sure it's gonna go viral. Started building at the beginning of this year, and that leads to where we are so far.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's interesting you say that there's like this crossover with trading and crypto and like vaping. I remember I was at a party at Consensus in Austin, Texas, and I was like hanging out with some really high level traders. And they were all smoking, and it was interesting like to see, like, it wasn't the builders that were smoking necessarily, it wasn't the crypto traders, it was like this group of, it wasn't the employees, it wasn't the people organizing the party, it was the traders that were using nicotine. And I always thought that was kind of interesting to see, and I think it has to do partially with like risk psychology, partially with anxiety, partially with focus, right? So there's something about
Yeah.
it where people,
Yeah.
people use these products.
That's
Interesting.
that's why we are literally turning this product into a mining machine. It is a mining machine. You have to care, you have to determine, you have to do the right job and to make sure that you can maximize your daily return, your financial return, right? That's why,
Mm-hmm.
even on the product, we show people the return. Like we show that in the US dollar sign so that you can literally know how much you are earning from this behavior, from this game, for the
Right.
past 24 hours and for the past 30 days. So we show that on the screen of the vape to telling people, hey, if you want to earn more, you need to follow the rule, which is quit nicotine, right? So that's something we want to
Mm-hmm.
combine.
Interesting. Um, so, why were you motivated for this consumer product, right? Like you could have built a DeFi product, you could have, you were building the social media space. Why did you end up coming to this consumer space and tackling this problem in specific?
I mean, from one side, I think it's because I used to build, my last project is a social fi project. I was always I'm always interested in looking to how to build more consumer crypto, real consumer scenario use cases in the space. And also literally because we had this background from this vape industry, vape business background. Um, it's more than just, getting it outsourced to another vape manufacturer to, produce for us. It won't work in that
Right.
way because it's so hard to manage the hardware, the manufacturer. You need connections, you need resources, you need know-how. It's very difficult. So I think we have this advantage. We are actually managing one of the biggest manufacturer for Philomars, for IQOS, and we supplied over 76 million of the IQOS, the heat no burn, that kind of vape
Mm-hmm.
last year.
Right.
So that's our background. We know how to build vaporizers, and we have our established business around the world. And especially in the US, we do a lot of cannabis vapes. That's actually
Mm-hmm.
our main business in the US. And by the way, in the future, we're definitely gonna do the smoke weed to earn. It's just gonna be another DJing game. So that's where we're coming from. And one of my co-founder, Jack, he used to be the global sales, global BD for Aspire, which is one of the most popular public traded vape brands in the world. So, a lot of that connections, a lot of that experiences, and my own faith about consumer crypto, about this idea that pushed me to just, come back and build this stuff. I was pushed by my friends like, hey, Reffo, you got to come back to the space. That was
Mm-hmm.
like the end of last year. They're saying, now the whole atmosphere, the whole either raising or the secondary market, everything is coming back. So you got to come back. It's gonna be so different from what you experiences from your first project, and trust me, you're gonna make that happen. So yeah, I came back. I wrote a white paper and try to talk to a lot of DeepIn folks, a lot of application folks, and they gave me great feedback, especially coming from Chain. That's why we're building on Chain. So yeah,
Right.
just very naturally, just keep building it.
Interesting. Yeah, I actually recently listened to a podcast about like the vape wars and Juul, and then the advent of like disposable vapes and the whole like FDA, kind of how it wasn't administering that space, and then it adapted in different ways. It's a super interesting saga, and I guess this is just like the next generation of of the vape wars is, integrating tech with vapes and integrating crypto, disintermediating the space. It's kind of fascinating, honestly. And it's a fascinating social phenomenon as well, this idea of like smoking and nicotine products. Interesting. I do want to get into Barachain. You touched on Barachain. Obviously, Barachain has this kind of mimetic cultural shift. We saw the lines at the parties, when Bara, like, it's a very unique place to build. You're not only are you building on Barachain, but you're also part of their native accelerator. Yeah, when tell us about the genesis of what chain you built on and why you decided to build on that chain, and were there any other chains you were considering building on?
Yeah, I mean, since day one, like at the beginning of this year, when we were trying to find the best layer one to build this, it's literally several options there: base, Solana, and a new layer one for a consumer project, right? For base, I think the idea was that when we're trying to build this, we didn't really want to we didn't want to do this in the US market due to the crypto regulation and everything. We feel like Asian market and the Europe market is a better choice for us. So we didn't go
Mm-hmm.
with base. For Solana, there are tons of DeepIn projects there. I was talking to Solana Foundation folks and understanding that it's very competitive. Like if you are building a new DeepIn project, you you know you gotta think how to make yourself stand out in the fastest way, in the easiest way, right? So I just don't feel like we have that chance to stand out in a very short period of time. So how about looking for a new chain? And when we're doing in the early days, it was literally just Barachain and the Monad. So choose between Barachain and Monad. I would go with Barachain because of the culture, because of Bong Bear, the Genesis NFT, and even because the name of Smokey, you know, those DGen, they came from Olympus style, the DGen DeFi traders. They just naturally, natively, they embrace anything with the leverage, leverage on top of leverage, the flywheel, proof liquidity. So they are not against to any of the to earn idea. If you're talking about X to earn to some folks, I think even for now, like 50% of them are super against it. They just think, oh, it's a Ponzi, it's a death spiral, right? So they have this kind of misconception about what we are doing. But on Bear Chain, when in the early days we talk with the foundation, we talk with all of the eco builders, founders, they love this idea. And that's why in the very early days, they seeded this project. There are a lot of angel eco builders. They are like my angel investors, Bear Chain OGs. So I think I got the most support from this ecosystem that I would just go with it on day one.
Hmm. Let's talk about what you mentioned, which is this kind of skepticism around vape to or around like to earn consumer products. Obviously, I think the most successful one of these has been Step In with Walk to Earn. We've seen them in other variations. Some have done fantastically well, some have done less well. I think universally there's a skepticism, which is like, how are we going to pay people to do something indefinitely, right? I think that's the source of the skepticism. So can you address that and talk about kind of the flywheel for, I don't know if you refer to it as a flywheel, but the way to keep the kind of cycle going for Puffpaw?
Yeah, let me just explain the flywheel very quick here. We are we are shipping the real tangible consumer product. The more, we use the vape to earn idea to onboard our initial smokers, consumers onto our platform. The more users we have, the more data we actually have. And when you are talking about data, that's actually more valuable than, the whole, this tangible consumer product businesses, because we are using this device to collect tons of your smoking data and facing, 1.3 billion smokers, which are our targeted users. They are going to provide a lot of their personal information as long as we use our token to incentivize them to do, right? So the more users we get on the platform, more data, health data and consumer data we're able to accumulate. And the more data we have on the platform, the more data consumers we're able to onboard. I'm talking about health product company, health insurance company, pharmaceutical companies, or even the tobacco companies and vape companies. They don't have this kind of data because everybody is buying the vape from the smoke shop. There's no brand or manufacturer has this such data. So with all of the data on the platform, um, those data consumers, they have to use our token to purchase the data from our users directly. That's the incentive on top of the vape to earn financial incentive. So from the data side and the initial vape to earn incentive, that's going to balance the overall incentive for each of our user in the long term. Because in the early days, for example, we're going to launch the game very soon. We only have 10K users in the early days. And for each of them, they're going to have a crazy return based on the daily vape to earn rewards. But as more users, as more smokers we onboard onto this platform, there's no doubt their daily rewards will going down and down, lower and lower and lower. But as more users we have on the platform, more data we're going to have. That data set will be more valuable to the data consumers. More data consumers on the platform will further drive up the value for the data from each users, so that each user will get more compensation, more monetization from selling their data. And we are going to be asset data trading like a data marketplace. So that's like the real side of the business we're talking about. First part is the real, the business, the revenue from selling the consumer product. The second part is the data marketplace. With both sides, we're gonna create a sustainable business model for the tokenomics, for the vape token, and make sure that the real value will get back to the token side, and make sure we can onboard more and more and more of the users.
So not only do you have this kind of consumer subset, you also have this kind of corporate or business subset where it's like we're connecting both sides. One side is providing, the the inflows to the other side, and thus we have this cycle, and that enables us to kind of achieve sustainability. Is that right?
Exactly, exactly. Right now, there's nobody collecting such data. This is like respiratory disease related data. There's no such device in Web 2 or in Web 1. There's no such medical device to collect such data from 1.3 billion smokers. And for the first time ever, we have this chance. Use Vape to earn, use the blockchain technology, use this, Web3, the mechanism, the tokenomics mechanism to onboard more of the data creator, data generator, and to collect such data. Because to be honest, this device, without the financial return, financial incentive, it's still kind of, expensive comparing to the normal product you can buy from the smoke shop. So
Right.
it won't make sense for anybody, for any of the data collector trying to build out this type of product specifically to collect data from smokers. So we're actually combining both the data side and the quit nicotine, the fun game side to build this new product for the next generation of the vape for smokers.
I want to talk a little bit about the logistics of people who are curious about trying out your product. So you have the physical product, you have something called a puff pass, and then there was an initial run of I think 30K passes, or I forget the vocab around that, for the product itself. Can you explain that and what these kind of all these things mean?
Yeah, we run a very I would say unique marketing campaign 3 weeks ago. We
Mm-hmm.
actually had a pre-sale for the pods. So we were just selling the pods 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Imagine you're selling tires for Tesla even before you're selling Tesla. So we're
Right.
selling these pods. We call it Genesis pods, and we sold 30K of the Genesis pods to our early users, and the Genesis pods will come with a higher money efficiency and with a
Mm-hmm.
lower pricing. So a lot of early users, loyal community members, they bought this Genesis pods, and in 10 days, on December the 9th, we're gonna sell our first 10K Puff Pass. It's an NFT, but the whole project is not about NFT like a PFP NFT. It's more like a
Mm-hmm.
ticket for you to get into the game. So for each of the NFT, the Puff Pass, you will get one free vape, three free pods, and our airdrop. So
Okay.
all of the value goes back to the Puff Pass holders, along with your Genesis pods. If you bought Genesis pods, and with the Puff Pass you bought, we're gonna ship all of the vape and the pods to your shipping address directly. And you know that you have to provide a shipping address when you are purchasing this NFT. So it's really a consumer product, like an e-commerce thing.
Right. You guys have obviously faced technical challenges on both sides of the product, right? You have this physical product; it has to be unique because it has to integrate with crypto in this, direct way, right? Because it's an important device. It's kind of printing money for people. And then on the other side, we have these crypto rails that have to interface with millions and millions of puffs and all of this and the NFTs, and it's complex. Is one side or the other harder to work on? Was the physical stuff harder? Was the blockchain stuff harder?
That's actually a very good question. I don't think like there's a one side harder than another side. I think the hardest part is to balance between both sides. I was just tweeted this like yesterday. So when you are building a consumer product, a physical product in the Web2 or traditional in a traditional way, you always make sure you have the product 100% ready to run a big marketing campaign, and you can actually show the product, getting people to test, to try the product, to have a great debut, right? But in Web3, everything is about a sentiment. It's about speculation. It's about marketing. It's about feeling. It's about storytelling. It's about narrative. It requires you to run the marketing campaign to tell the story from the founder's perspective, from the team's perspective, maybe even before you start building. That's the hardest part. We start telling people, hey, we want to do this. We want to build a puffball. We want to build a vape-to-earn project even before we were ready with our physical product. And we have to do in that way because this is Web3. People has no patience for you for 3, 4, 5 months to produce some product. They have to see it. They have to touch it. They have to feel it. So we have to keep telling the story without a physical product. So we're facing so much challenge of doing content creation with our physical product because we are building and doing the marketing at the same time. And everybody knows that. Everybody understands that because it's in Web3. We keep updating with our community. Hey, we are 90% ready with the product. We are doing this. We're going fundraising this month. So we literally don't have much time to build because the whole team, because myself, I'm racing for the seed round. We have to keep updating this with our early members. That's very different from Web2. Like nobody does that. So it's actually very challenging to balance between the real production and to do the marketing in a Web3 way. So I don't think each side is harder. I think it's when you're combining both sides, it's so hard because you have to think, oh, I have to manage this expectation. I have to manage that schedule. How am I going to coordinating both sides to make sure that I can run marketing smoothly with a very limited resources from my tangible products? So
Right.
I think that's just a very challenged thing for all of the deep in or consumer crypto builders in the space.
Hmm. That's super interesting. Another question I have here is, what's your biggest like ambition for the project? Right? The vapes are coming soon. There'll be a production run. Hopefully, you'll gain traction and the token will do well. But do you have any larger ambition where you say, I hope if I can do anything here, I hope Puffpaw is able to accomplish this?
Yeah. I think this is a new product. We are using this new product. This is a very unique, first of all, it's a vaporizer, right? It's a very unique vaporizer that we're actually doing 100% differently from all of the previous product. We are not running traditional marketing. We are not selling in a smoke shop. We are not using distributors. It's the first time ever we have the chance to onboard consumers, to onboard smokers directly. We are using this
Hmm.
product to revolutionize this whole very traditional vape industry, the industry chain, because it is it is tobacco product and is banned for paid promotion on social media, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, anything. So that's why it's heavily relying on distributor and smoke shops. That's the current situation. We are using this product to onboard consumers directly onto our platform so we can bypass all of the distributor and smoke shops. They are taking over 80% of the profit from this business. So that's why literally using the vape to earn, using the Web3 way to bootstrap this whole project, this whole vape brand, we have the chance to revolutionize, to reshape the industry chain of this very traditional vape business. And that's our first goal. The second goal is that this is our first product. We are doing R&D for a lot of different products. We're doing smoke weed to earn. We're doing ICUS, the heat no burn type of vape to
Hmm.
earn. The heating machine, you put a stick into the cigarette
Right.
into the machine, heat it up. And also we're doing shisha to earn. So we're doing a lot of different type of, products for different type of smokers around this world. In every single country, there's a different, it's a very different. Like for Japan, Middle East, they love shisha. In Korea, they love IQOS, they love HMB vapes. And in the
Hmm.
US, people love cannabis, right? So it's very different. Like this is actually our goal. We want to build this platform that can benefit all of different type of smokers and literally using the platform to obtain to attract all of this traffic from end customers directly. With all of this traffic, with all of this end users, it's a DTC business, right? So we can help those brands, those business, those data consumers. It's a B2B, it's a B2B2C or B2C. So we can literally pair all of them using this platform and to build another type of e-commerce by ourselves. It's not relying on Amazon or any of the traditional Web 2 platform.
Well, Reffo, I think that's an excellent rallying cry for nicotine users of all of the entire earth to wrap this podcast up on. I have one last question, which comes from a Singaporean friend of mine. Will what you guys have available for Singaporeans?
That's a very good question. So unfortunately, vape is not legal in every single country. In Singapore, in India, in China, it's still illegal, right? It's still illegal. So for for the Web3 DJ folks, for I believe your friend, it's in the space, right? He
Yeah,
understands
I have to
financial
ask because
return.
everyone in Singapore is in crypto. So,
Yes, we have a lot of users from Singapore want to buy this. So my quick answer is that you can hold that NFT, you can hold our Puff Pass and a gift this vape to your friend. And we as a platform, we have a lot of smokers who don't want to buy this Puff Pass. They just want to get a vape. We are working with different communities in Southeast Asia. So we can help you to pair with a smoker and you guys can share the mining profits. You as the holder of the Puff Pass, and you're the lender to lend the vape to another borrower. So you get 90%, and the borrower of the vape get 10%. So you can still enjoy the most of the profit of the benefits from holding that Puff Pass and earn the daily rewards and lend the vape to another guy and help him to quit nicotine. So that's our plan for Singapore, for India.
Excellent. So yield farm your friends by helping them quit nicotine. Reffo, it's been awesome chatting with you. You seem like a phenomenal and pragmatic founder, so I really like that about you. And I think the project is both funny and it's doing a cool thing for crypto in general. So thanks so much for being here. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Jack. Thank you for having me.